One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The summer of '69. It was a season of history. From the landing on the moon, to performances at the ballpark, to a gathering of musical stars in a tiny town in upstate New York. As the party raged at Woodstock in mid-August, 100 miles south in the big city, the Mets were 9 games behind the Cubs, but surging forward.
Think big, think positive. Everything began to fall into place.
The ball game is tied at 3-3.
You don't know you can do something until you do it, and you can gain a little confidence.
Toward the middle, Weisterhouse, and now to first. That's 2.
I think that's when we really started to say, hey, we could do this. We could win this.
By September 8th, Chicago's lead had been cut to 2.5 games, and the Cubs were at Shea, primed for a confrontation.
Now the pitch, look out. Getting out of the way of a high, tight fastball.
Ron Santo, cleanup hitter, was the first guy up the next time, and I wasn't going to let the Cubs embarrass my hitters like that, and so I accidentally hit Santo.
So the tempo for the evening has been set. It's a big series, and it's a tough one.
The game was tied at 2 in the 6th, but in that inning came an ominous sign befitting of Chicago's cursed history.
Ron Santos in the on-deck circle, and the catwalk right behind him, stopped right in front of our dugout and just kind of peered in. Most people think that was our jinx.
Who's that crossing in front of their dugout? It's not Lady Luck.
The Mets just had the hex on us, no matter what. And in '69, that's what happened.
The Cubs would lose 2 straight at Shea. And then, the next night, the Mets put their decade of futility even further behind them.
Pitch is hit through the middle. That's going to go into center field. And the Mets will win it. Coming around to score is Leon Jones. And the Mets have won the ball game 3-2 on the base hit. So for the first time in the history of the New York Mets, they have gone into first place.
We went from 10 or 12 games behind to 10 games in front.
And as they won 18 of their final 23 games, a miracle appeared to be in the making.
And the date, September 24th, and they're facing the St. Louis Cardinals.
When they finally did get there, the place went absolutely mad.
As 1, as 2, the game is over. The Mets have won the championship of the Eastern Division.
I don't know that we've ever had another one now that was as real as that. That one was spontaneous.
We celebrated very hard the night we clinched the pennant. We drank most of the champagne, not like most of the celebrations where you spray it around the clubhouse. We were just celebrating a victory.
When the champagne bottles had all been emptied, it was time to focus on the Atlanta Braves and the NL Championship Series.
In that playoff against Atlanta, again, you look on paper, the kind of the players they had, Rico Cardi, Henry Aaron, and Orlando Cepeda. I mean, they had some Hall of Fame guys on that team.
The Braves had hit 141 home runs as a team in '69, and if the upstart Mets were to have a shot, most observers agreed they'd have to hope their young arms could outpitch Atlanta's own formidable rotation.
Most of the papers were talking about it was going to be a pitcher's duel. It turned out to be a hitter's duel.
A duel the Mets would win in games 1 and 2 by scoring a combined 20 runs. And the series went back to New York with the Mets looking to sweep.
I think everybody thought we'd be tense because we didn't have the experience. But from top to bottom, everybody was loose.
But at Shea, early in Game 3, Henry Aaron got the Braves going early with one swing of the bat.
A high fly ball to deep center, way back, way back. That was going and hits the flagpole right over the 410 mark, a curveball. Hank Aaron now is homered in each game of this series.
Against Braves right-hander Pat Jarvis, though, the Mets' bats awoke again.
There's a long drive. That one is out of here. Long drive. Goodbye. Down.
As New York put up 7 runs in a span of 4 innings, 22-year-old Nolan Ryan threw 7 innings of 3-hit relief, guiding the miracle Mets into the World Series.
There's a little roller. Yes, the Mets are the National League champions. The New York Mets have turned in one of baseball's most unbelievable stories.
As the Mets were sweeping the Braves, the Orioles and Twins were doing battle in the inaugural ALCS.
Having to go play Minnesota was kind of scary because they had a terrific team.
Even though Baltimore had won 109 games, the Twins' bats scared the Birds.
We had a deep concern about winning those games against Minnesota because they were a tough ball club.
Game 1 went to extra innings, and in the 12th, with a 3-3 score and Mark Belanger on third, Paul Blair took the Twins completely by surprise.
Belanger's on third. He gets 2-2 count. Perfect slot for me to lay down the bunt.
Blair the batter. Blair lays down a perfect bunt. Here comes Belanger to score the winning run.
I was playing third base in that game and didn't expect it, so that's the kind of baseball they played in Baltimore.
The next day, Game 2 again went into extra innings, this time a scoreless affair.
Anytime you got a bunch of zeros up there, there's some pressure on you. And we didn't know exactly how we were going to win that game, but something would happen.
And something happened in the bottom of the 11th when Baltimore's Kurt Moton came up with 2 on against Twins star reliever Ron Peranowski.
We knew that we had our backs up against the wall against Baltimore, so we knew that we were in trouble.
Moton single to right scored Boog Powell, and the Orioles grabbed command of the series with their second straight extra innings win.
We had a scramble to win those 2 ball games, and it certainly helped us going out in the third game to relax and let our bats come to life.
Game 3 was not nearly as close, an 11-2 Orioles rout in Minnesota.
A scary situation after you win all those games during the course of the year and have to go 3 out of 5, because Minnesota did have a good ball club.
But the Orioles had escaped. All that stood between them and a title were a few miracle workers from New York.